Welcome back to the Goo Gallery. In last week's episode, we discussed how composition and color can create harmony in a painting. Today in the Goo Gallery, I'll share with you the power of disharmony. In 2017, I created this piece taking inspiration from rotting wallpaper. Now, I'm sure that rotting antique wallpaper inspires so many people. My immediate reaction was that I totally hated what I created. The strokes going in all different directions and the lack of color cohesion between the foreground and the background didn't really work for me. I can recall thinking that I had created an artwork that'd be on the discount pile in Winners. However, when I shared this piece with my family and friends, they indicated that it was the most beautiful piece that I had created yet. While the inspired background was the part that I desired to keep, I recomposed the entire piece with the idea to create tension in the painting. Unfortunately, it started looking like the talking plant from the 1980s movie The Little Shop of Horrors. After feeling that the whole painting was a complete bust, I decided to experiment with the idea of allowing the colors to show through the layers to make the overall composition more complex. I changed the color palette and positioned a new focal point. As you can see, the shapes and colors from the original work are showing through. This final preach, though, is not much improved. In the original, as I reflect, the disharmony is what made the composition so interesting to look at. So, in the end, my son thought it was a great painting, so I gave it to him. On a totally different piece, I created a vortex painting with a totally incoherent color composition. The clouds surrounding the vortex contain a splash of brown tones, which are not found anywhere else and are not complementary to the blues. The vortex itself, while predominantly blue, contains a mishmash of colors with no relationship to each other. At this point, I received feedback that my piece was not cohesive and difficult to look at. To simplify the piece and bring greater cohesion to the painting, I made a fully blue vortex and brought in the brown from the frame to create a reflection into the vortex. While visually much more beautiful, I find the final product was much less interesting than the original. Both originals were significantly more interesting pieces, playing strongly to the idea of disharmony of the color composition while still holding a good composition. Not all pieces benefit from simplified color schemes and are far more interesting due to color incoherence. Disharmony can provoke the viewer to examine the piece further. Beauty is not always the purpose of a piece. Thanks again for joining me in the Goo Gallery. Remember, your masterpiece is still inside of you.